The police here in Hartford received a call that there was a woman on the sidewalk shot.
You can see there are bullet holes. His throat was slashed.
Shooting Monday night was the capital city's 20th murder in 2011.
Well, gun violence in Hartford has spiked. Police say homicides are up by 82% from last year.
Youth in the entire world, and youth in the United States of America specifically, are barraged with violence. And here in Hartford, there's been a tremendous amount of youth violence.
When you think about the homicide rate in Hartford, these are young people who are being killed and people who are doing the killing.
We're addressing an issue that's been around for a long time.
Violence has been what we basically have been teaching. In terms of how we solve a problem, we tend to go to war rather than find other solutions.
Look at Connecticut, right? So Connecticut is the richest state in the richest country of the world. We have third world conditions right here, miles from where I'm sitting right now. Just a different reality that a lot of people, I think, outside of Hartford, even know what's going on.
I felt that our capital was in great need of exploring Kingian nonviolence. Kingian nonviolence is very extensive. It's extremely holistic. It's a very rigorous academic process, and it's also a very rigorous emotional process as well.
I got started with the nonviolence movement in Nashville, Tennessee. At first, it was kind of difficult to think about the idea of turning the other cheek if someone, would hit you or spit on you or that kind of thing. We did not expect these kind of things to happen to us, but sure enough, when we started the sit-in movement, we were attacked and beaten and then thrown in jail. The preparation was very important, more than we ever realized. You cannot allow violence to stop a nonviolent movement, not even temporarily.
This type of program gives you, as Dr. Lafayette says, the will and the skill. You have something to substitute some of the anger and rage that's developed within a youth from having experienced or having been a victim or having been the victimizer of violence.
It's one thing to sit and talk about something or to bring awareness about something. If you really want people to grab onto something, to embrace something, it's more than just facts. You have to make it relevant to who they are and where they are. Somebody gets shot and then people go and march and people talk about it and then it dies away. Or you drive down the streets of Hartford and you see the little shrines of all the different people that were killed. And we celebrate the death. But where are we celebrating the life? Helping them to understand that their lives have intrinsic value. And it is once they find that value, then there's a greater appreciation for humanity.
Living in Hartford, I see a lot of violent acts.
I just kept fighting. It really made us mad and it didn't get handled well.
I have a father who is doing time currently.
I live with my mom. My dad's currently incarcerated. My dad was in jail before.
Teach me how to be a nonviolent person. Teach me how to be more developed and well-rounded. Basically, just get me out of the whole violence zone.
This was the first time we had actually done a 15-day training in this design. It took many people behind the scenes as well as on the floor to amass this project.
I know because of your choice to be here that you are to be the significant leader leaders of our time. And we need you.
We're no different. And we should really work at the things that we have in common.
What affects you directly affects me indirectly. It may or may not be our responsibility, but we have to deal with the repercussions of it. We may not like it, but we gotta live with what happens with our actions.
Growing up, you see a lot of violence, you know, and it's harder for a mom to tell a son what to do, but when you actually get it from another male's perspective, then it kind of evens things out. So that part of this made it a little better because there were males that were in there that I could father figure kind of, you know, like look at as an idol.
If enough adults with concrete ideas and with compassion could actually come together to help provide this training, there could be an opportunity to delve deeper into what's making this violence happen and how can our youth be benefited by looking at this entire process very carefully and coming up with other remedies to this epidemic that we're faced with.
Being in gang and having a family as a gang member, it takes a lot of tasks. You do a lot of things that you gotta do just to survive. Today I still have nightmares about it. I just want them to learn that it's about themselves, their life. It's not about what mommy did or daddy did or uncle did. Don't run, reach out, and not to get stuck in a whirlpool or pull me, none of that.
When I was 11 years old, my father moved his girlfriend and her 3 children into our house and put my mother and me out on the street. I saw that as a result of being victimized, many people themselves became victimizers. So those who were abused were more likely to become abusers. Yet I also saw that you could break free from that.
Learn how to like talk out your problems, and if you're feeling something, don't keep some stuff bottled up, and help others a lot. I like helping people.
These were riveting times in the 15 days. It was palpable. You could feel the transformation going on, the thinking process, the heart's opening.
I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm enthusiastic. I'm awake. The real is that each one of you is going to have your own trip. Like anybody who tells you that they know what you're going to become is wrong, because nobody knows what you're going to become. Your life is still an open book.
Me personally, I grew up with family members, parents on drugs, so that gave me kind of like the personal experience that I need to be able to relate to a lot of the young people's lives today. Knowing what it's like to be a part of a gang. I actually did some time in prison. Young people need not look for anybody to give them anything or think that anybody owes them anything, because a lot of times it is the reason why they're either a part of a gang, not doing well in school, not connected to any type of community events that's positive because of the damage or hurt that they have experienced in their personal lives.
So we want them to find ways in their own lives to use nonviolence on a personal level. But then we want them to begin to look at some of the injustices in our society and begin to say, now, how can I use nonviolence to help change, these conditions around me?
My first reactions was, this is long for 6 hours, because I wanted to do things for the summer, like play basketball. We started off playing games, then we did music, we did puppets and a lot of other activities, so it wasn't as long as I thought.
When you have a creative outlet, you have far better opportunity to be more articulate in expressing your feelings.
My initiative was let them be successful in turning out a piece of work that they're happy about, that they're proud about, that they can repeat again. By the 3rd day, the students were all assisting one another. One was drying, another one was getting glue into containers, and they were really helping one another.
I wasn't certain of who the students would be, but I didn't have any doubt in connecting with the kids, but I did wonder if the age group at 17 years old would buy into making puppets. I thought they would think it was babyish, and I was just amazed at how focused they were. You know, 15, 16, 17-year-olds are a part of something so important. It blew me away, it really did.
As we've been taught, music was the blood that ran through the body of the movement, the civil rights movement itself. I introduced rhythm sticks, whereby every day the youth were able to actually take out these sticks and play these rhythms and express themselves in a very profound way that united us instantly.
When we do them drumming and singing and stuff, that was just like boring to me at first. But then when you kind of get used to it, it's like, okay, this is kind of getting a little bit interesting. Just put out the drums and just making it exciting.
At first, I couldn't even get more than one or two of the youth to sing with me. But as we progressed, we saw tremendous progress made in that, where by the end of the 15 days, they were calling out songs.
We have differences, we have different cultures, we have people who have different features, different religions, and too often people overemphasize the differences that they have rather than look at the things that we have in common. We want them to use their minds, their energy, and the force of their souls to bring people together in a beloved community that Martin Luther King talks about.
Of course I attended because I thought, hey, easy money. I actually found myself having a good time. I learned that I enjoy doing puppets and singing. Yes, there's millions of people and only one me, but it only takes one person to make a difference.
To me, I don't think the challenge is for the students. I think the challenge is for their parents who allowed them to be a part of this program, for their instructors at Blue Hill Civic Association, you know, where these students came from. They have to continue to invest in this knowledge. It can't end. They have to live it out. They have to fuse it. They have to create opportunities where the students will continue to integrate it.
Felt good about what you did. If I ain't had this program, I don't know where I would have been.
As far as, you know, what happens beyond this, I can only hope, you know, they bring it together and try to practice it or try to wrestle with bringing, you know, their lives and nonviolence together.
I want them to achieve an inner awakening. I want them to understand there are other ways to address conflict.
After this program, I hope to continue working with the ThinKING program because the fight is not yet over. It has just begun.
The project was just the graduation. Now they have to go out and do it.
Even though they have the training and even though the seed is planted, life still goes on. There are still weeds and still a whole bunch of things that's going to try to stomp that out. So it's our job to continue to provide that hope so that they continue to want to learn more until they're able to, you know, it's no longer something that you actually have to study. It's nature.
Where I'm from is not who I am, and I hope that who I am becomes the nonviolence that we're teaching them.
At first, I didn't want to really do this program. I'm actually real proud that I did it, happy.
We need to instill peace education, nonviolence education in our youth from the minute they enter into school.
If we can use our brains and use our wisdom and knowledge to bring about peace, like we use our brains and knowledge to create instruments of war, we can change our entire world.
Yeah.